Have you ever thought about the power of the words you speak to yourself? We all have an inner voice, the one that narrates our thoughts, reflects on our past, and anticipates our future. But what if I told you that the way you speak to yourself could be the key to transforming your reality? We are constantly shaping our lives through the thoughts we entertain and the stories we tell ourselves. What if you could harness the energy of your words and thoughts to create an entirely new experience in your life? Imagine waking up 3 days from now, having shifted your mindset so profoundly that your reality begins to reflect the changes you've made within. By speaking to yourself in a way that nurtures and empowers, you can change the way you think and transform the energy you emit into the world. Applying principles of neuroscience, quantum theory, and meditative practices, you can reprogram your brain and body to align with the life you desire. And the best part? You'll begin to see the results in just 3 days. Before diving into the practical steps of changing your inner dialogue, it's important to understand the science behind why the words you speak to yourself matter. Your brain, the most complex organ in your body, is incredibly adaptable. It's constantly rewiring itself based on the experiences and stimuli it encounters. This ability to change and reorganize is known as neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's remarkable capacity to form new neural connections, break old ones, and adapt based on new information, habits, and experiences. The implications of neuroplasticity are profound, particularly when we recognize that we can consciously choose new thoughts, patterns, and behaviors to reshape our brains. The words you speak to yourself, whether aloud or internally, play a crucial role in this process. They are not merely abstract mental constructs. They have a tangible impact on your brain and body, actively participating in the creation of your reality. Every thought you think is not just a fleeting mental image or an idea that passes by. It's a signal that travels through your brain, initiating a series of complex processes that shape the way you experience the world. When you have a thought, your brain forms neural connections in response. These connections, known as synapses, are the pathways through which electrical signals travel, forming the very fabric of your consciousness. Each time you think a particular thought, these pathways are strengthened, making it easier for that thought to be triggered again. This is a process of reinforcement. When you consistently think certain thoughts, your brain strengthens the associated neural pathways, making them easier to activate in the future. This is why habits form, whether good or bad, because your brain builds up a network of connections that make repeated patterns of thought easier and more automatic. This principle is the foundation for changing habits, whether you're trying to stop smoking, eat healthier, or, in this case, change the way you speak to yourself. But the power of words doesn't end at thought. When you vocalize a thought, when you speak out loud, you add an additional layer of energy. Sound, vibration, and intention become powerful amplifiers of the message you're communicating to your subconscious mind. This is why affirmations and mantras, when spoken with conviction, have such a powerful effect. Speaking the words out loud releases a cascade of neural signals that reverberate throughout your brain and body, reinforcing the idea you are communicating. Words don't only shape the thoughts in our minds, they shape our emotional state. Think about it. Have you ever heard someone speak positively about themselves, using words like, "I am capable," or "I am deserving," and notice the way their energy shifts? There's a distinct change in their emotional state, isn't there? This is because the words we speak are directly tied to the emotions we feel. When you speak negatively to yourself, you are programming your brain and body to experience negative emotions, fear, stress, and anxiety. The more you reinforce these negative patterns of thinking with negative words, the more they become ingrained in your emotional makeup. Over time, this can result in an emotional default of stress and negativity, which, as research in neuroscience suggests, can even begin to influence how you perceive the world and make decisions. On the other hand, when you speak to yourself with kindness, gratitude, and love, you're sending a completely different message to your brain and body. You're teaching your brain that these emotions, joy, peace, and empowerment, are your new default states. By consistently speaking words that empower you, you're effectively rewiring your brain to recognize these positive emotions as your baseline, setting the stage for a new way of interacting with the world around you. The interesting thing is that when you speak words that affirm your worth, your capabilities, and your potential, your brain doesn't distinguish between the words and reality. The brain simply knows that if you're telling it something repeatedly, it must be true. In a sense, you're teaching your brain to align with the new reality you're creating through your words. Before you can begin to shift your inner dialogue, the first and most essential step is awareness. You must become conscious of the words you're using in your inner dialogue. Are they words of encouragement and self-love? Or are they laced with criticism and self-doubt? For many of us, negative self-talk is so ingrained in our daily lives that we don't even realize we're doing it. It becomes second nature to speak harshly to ourselves, to dwell on past mistakes, or to anticipate future failures. But this internal chatter, whether we realize it or not, has a profound impact on our emotional and physical well-being. It can trap us in a cycle of negativity, reinforcing the belief that we are not good enough, capable enough, or worthy enough to create the life we desire. The key to breaking this cycle lies in recognizing when these negative thoughts and words arise. Spend a day simply listening to your inner voice. Notice the words you speak to yourself throughout the day. Pay attention to the emotions these words stir up. When you find yourself feeling stressed, anxious, or defeated, pause and ask yourself, what did I just say to myself that triggered these feelings? This awareness is the first step in creating change. It's essential because it allows you to take a step back and observe your thought patterns without judgment. You don't need to change everything at once, but simply noticing these patterns can be incredibly powerful. The next time you catch yourself engaging in negative self-talk, you can consciously choose to pause and redirect your thoughts. Now that you become aware of your inner dialogue, the next step is to start reprogramming it. If your thoughts and words are shaping your reality, what happens when you consciously choose to speak to yourself differently? When you start using words that are nurturing, supportive, and affirming, you begin to shift the energy around you. The key to this reprogramming is consistency. Just as your brain created the neural pathways that reinforce negative thoughts, you can begin to forge new, empowering pathways by consistently speaking positively to yourself. For instance, instead of saying, "I can't do this," you might say, "I am capable, and I have the power to overcome this challenge." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be good enough," try thinking and saying, "I am worthy of success and happiness." These words send a new message to your brain, one that signals strength, confidence, and possibility. To make this shift, you need to start practicing new mental habits. Begin each day by setting the tone with empowering words and affirmations. Speak them aloud, feel their vibration in your body, and truly believe in the power of your own words. It may feel awkward or forced at first, but with time, your brain will start to accept these new words as truth. Just as negative self-talk becomes a habitual response, positive self-talk will soon become your new default. One of the most profound aspects of changing the way you speak to yourself is the emotional transformation that accompanies it. As you begin to use positive words and affirmations, you are not just changing your thoughts, you're also reconditioning your emotional state. The way you feel is intricately connected to the thoughts you think and the words you speak. Think about it. When you use words that are kind and supportive, your body starts to feel different. You may feel a sense of calm, empowerment, or peace wash over you. Your brain starts to release different chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, chemicals that are associated with happiness, contentment, and love. In contrast, when you speak harshly to yourself, your brain releases stress hormones like cortisol, which can contribute to feelings of anxiety, tension, and overwhelm. This emotional reconditioning is a powerful tool for transformation. By consciously choosing words that make you feel empowered, joyful, and confident, you begin to shift your emotional state, which in turn starts to shift your life. Your emotional state influences your actions, decisions, and interactions with the world. And as you start to feel more aligned with your highest self, you'll notice the world around you beginning to reflect that shift. In the realm of quantum physics, everything is energy. Everything has a vibrational frequency. This includes your thoughts and words. When you speak, You're emitting vibrations into the universe. These vibrations carry information, and they resonate with the energy around you. The words you speak are not just sounds. They are energetic frequencies that interact with the field of potential around you. When you speak positively to yourself, you raise your vibrational frequency, aligning yourself with higher states of being, states of love, gratitude, and empowerment. As you continue to elevate your frequency, you begin to attract experiences and people that match this vibration. The universe, as quantum theory suggests, responds to the energy you emit, bringing to you what is in alignment with your inner state. This is why the practice of speaking to yourself with intention and positivity is so powerful. It's not just about changing your thoughts. It's about aligning your energy with the possibilities that already exist in the quantum field. By raising your vibrational frequency, you begin to tap into a greater field of potential, and things begin to manifest more easily and naturally in your life. So, how do you put all of this into practice? How do you start speaking to yourself in a way that creates a shift in your life? Here are a few steps to get you started. Start with awareness. Pay attention to the words you speak to yourself. Track the negative thoughts and replace them with positive affirmations. Use empowering language. Choose words that affirm your strength, potential, and worth. Make a list of affirmations that resonate with you and speak them aloud every day. Create emotional alignment. Focus not only on the words, but also on how they make you feel. Ensure that you speak with genuine emotion and belief behind your words. Practice consistency. Repetition is key. The more you repeat positive affirmations, the more you rewire your brain and reinforce the new emotional and mental patterns. Align your energy. Use your words to elevate your emotional state. As you practice speaking positively to yourself, notice how your energy shifts and take note of the positive changes in your life. For the next 3 days, we're going to focus on one of the most transformative changes you can make in your life. Shifting your inner dialogue from a place of self-criticism to one of self-compassion. This shift is not a superficial change. It is a profound transformation that, if sustained, will help you cultivate a healthier mindset, emotional stability, and overall sense of well-being. Every time you catch yourself thinking a negative thought about yourself, perhaps a thought rooted in doubt, insecurity, or self-judgment, pause. Take a moment to replace that thought with a statement that reflects understanding, kindness, and compassion. It's important to recognize that this process doesn't involve suppressing or denying the challenges you face. It's about acknowledging them while choosing to speak to yourself in a way that supports your growth. Imagine how different it feels to think or say, "I am learning and growing, and it's okay to take my time," instead of, "I'm not good enough." The first statement is rooted in self-compassion, while the second stems from self-criticism. By reframing your inner dialogue in a compassionate manner, you signal to your brain that mistakes and setbacks are part of the journey, not evidence of failure. Similarly, consider the shift from "this is too hard" to "I have everything I need to handle this challenge." This change not only reaffirms your capability, but also reinforces your resilience and strength, enabling you to approach the challenge with a sense of empowerment rather than fear. Compassionate self-talk activates the part of your brain responsible for self-regulation and emotional balance, fostering an inner environment that is conducive to emotional healing and growth. Neuroscience research has shown that self-compassion helps activate areas of the brain associated with positive emotion regulation, such as the prefrontal cortex, which plays a significant role in making thoughtful, deliberate decisions. This part of the brain is also involved in emotional regulation and helps you manage stress effectively. In contrast, a lack of self-compassion can trigger the amygdala, the brain's center for emotional processing, which governs fear and anxiety. This leads to the activation of the body's stress response system, creating a physiological and emotional state that makes it harder for you to think clearly, make decisions, or feel confident. Compassionate self-talk, then, is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about creating a mental environment in which your challenges are met with understanding and support. It's about choosing to treat yourself with the same kindness and care that you would offer to a friend. This shift in mindset allows you to move from a survival-based mindset, one dominated by stress, fear, and anxiety, to a more peaceful and centered state of being. The first step in this process is awareness. Each day, take time to observe your inner dialogue. What are you telling yourself? Are your thoughts supportive or critical? Do you tend to focus on what you're doing wrong, or do you acknowledge your efforts and progress? This awareness is crucial because it helps you identify when you are engaging in negative self-talk, which is the first step in making changes. Once you become aware of your inner dialogue, the next step is to shift it. Begin by replacing negative self-talk with words that reflect kindness, understanding, and self-compassion. For example, when you find yourself thinking, "I can't do this," pause and replace it with, "I may not have all the answers yet, but I am learning and growing, and that's okay." Every time you catch yourself slipping into old patterns, take a deep breath and consciously replace the negative thought with something more supportive. At first, this may feel difficult, but the key is consistency. Set an intention every morning to speak kindly to yourself throughout the day. As you practice this regularly, your brain will start to form new neural pathways, making it easier to respond to challenges with kindness rather than self-criticism. Now that you've started to speak to yourself with more compassion, the next step is to reprogram your brain. The way you speak to yourself directly influences the neural pathways in your brain. If you've spent years telling yourself that you're not good enough, capable, or deserving of success, your brain has created neural patterns that reinforce these beliefs. These neural patterns, just like any other habit, can be broken and replaced with new, more empowering beliefs. Think about the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change and rewire itself. Every time you think or say something, your brain forms new connections. The more frequently you repeat certain thoughts or actions, the stronger those connections become. The brain essentially wires itself based on the repeated patterns of thought and behavior. This is both the challenge and the opportunity. While negative thought patterns may be deeply ingrained in your brain, they are not set in stone. With time and conscious effort, you can change them. One of the most effective ways to reprogram your brain is through the use of positive affirmations. These are simple, powerful statements that reflect the life you want to create, the person you want to become, or the success you wish to experience. Affirmations work because they are a tool for rewiring the brain and aligning your thoughts with the reality you want to create. For instance, if you've been telling yourself, "I'm not worthy of success," you can replace that thought with an affirmation such as, "I am worthy of abundance and success." If you struggle with health issues, an affirmation like, "I am healthy, strong, and vibrant," can help shift your brain's focus from illness to wellness. By consistently speaking these affirmations aloud, you begin to rewire your brain. The neural pathways that reinforced self-doubt and fear will start to weaken, while new pathways of belief, confidence, and possibility will begin to form. With repetition, your brain will start to accept these affirmations as truths, and your perception of yourself and the world around you will change accordingly. Research has shown that affirmations can activate the brain's reward system, specifically the ventral striatum, which is involved in motivation, learning, and goal setting. When you speak affirmations, you're not just repeating words. You're training your brain to recognize new possibilities and opportunities. In fact, studies have demonstrated that affirmations can improve performance, reduce stress, and increase feelings of self-worth. This is because when you repeat positive statements, your brain begins to release dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a key role in motivation, reward, and pleasure. As a result, you start to feel better about yourself, more capable of facing challenges, and more motivated to take action toward your goals. During the next 3 days, make a commitment to use affirmations every day. Choose statements that resonate with your goals and desires. Some examples include, "I am worthy of abundance and prosperity." "I attract positive energy and opportunities into my life." "I am becoming the best version of myself every day." "I am capable of achieving my dreams." Speak these affirmations aloud each morning and repeat them throughout the day whenever you need a boost of confidence or positivity. Visualize the desired outcomes as you speak these words, allowing the emotions associated with your goals to flow through you. As you continue with this practice, you will notice a shift in your thinking. Over time, your brain will begin to form new neural pathways that support your affirmations. As these pathways strengthen, You will find it easier to think and believe in the possibility of success, abundance, and happiness. The third step in this process is to elevate your emotional state by connecting to the energy of your desired future. Your emotions are not just random feelings. They are powerful indicators of the energy you're emitting into the world. When you speak words that reflect your desires, whether it's for success, health, love, or happiness, you need to connect with the emotions that accompany those desires. Think about it. When you envision achieving a goal, what emotions arise? Do you feel excited, joyful, or peaceful? Those emotions are the key to creating a vibrational match with the future you want to experience. The energy you emit through your emotions creates a magnetic field that attracts the circumstances, people, and opportunities that align with your desires. Quantum physics tells us that everything in the universe is made up of energy, and that energy vibrates at different frequencies. When you speak affirmations, you're not just speaking words. You're also emitting energy that has a frequency. The emotions you connect with those words amplify that frequency. The more aligned your emotions are with the frequency of your desires, the more likely you are to attract the circumstances that reflect those desires. For the next 3 days, every time you speak your affirmations, connect with the emotion of having already achieved your goals. If you're affirming that you are worthy of abundance, feel the excitement and gratitude as if the abundance is already flowing into your life. If you're affirming health, feel the vitality coursing through your body as if you have already experienced it. Imagine how you would feel if you had already accomplished your goals, and allow that emotion to fill you completely. To practice emotional alignment, take a few moments each day to close your eyes and deeply breathe in the emotions of your future reality. Feel the joy, peace, excitement, or gratitude that would come with achieving your goals. This emotional state is your connection to the energy of your future. Allow it to fuel your actions and reinforce your affirmations. By generating these elevated emotions, you align your energy with the energy of your desires. This creates a vibrational match between your inner world and the quantum field, sending a signal into the universe that you are ready to receive the experiences and opportunities that align with your highest self. One of the most powerful tools for transforming your reality is mental rehearsal. This practice involves vividly imagining the life you want to create, seeing it in your mind's eye as if it's already happening. Mental rehearsal isn't just a daydream. It is a deeply intentional practice that bridges the gap between your current reality and the life you desire. It helps rewire your brain, primes it for new experiences, and fosters a feedback loop that strengthens your emotional connection to the future you're calling into existence. To understand why mental rehearsal works so effectively, let's delve into the science behind it. Mental rehearsal, or visualization, activates the same neural networks in your brain as actually performing the action. Research shows that when you vividly imagine an activity, your brain fires up the motor areas involved in the physical act, as though you're actually doing it. This phenomenon has been demonstrated in studies ranging from athletes imagining a successful performance to neuroscientists observing how visualizing certain actions lights up brain activity. In one study involving basketball players, participants who mentally rehearsed making free throws improved their performance just as much as those who physically practiced. This isn't just theoretical. Mental rehearsal alters the brain's neuroplasticity, changing neural pathways and reinforcing the belief that your desired outcome is achievable. When you visualize your future, your brain begins to form new connections that support this vision, making it easier to act in ways that align with your aspirations. By mentally rehearsing your desired future, you are training your brain to focus on positive outcomes and opportunities. You're creating a mental environment where success is not only possible, but inevitable. Over time, this practice shifts your mindset from scarcity and doubt to abundance and possibility. For the next 3 days, set aside time each day to mentally rehearse your ideal future. It doesn't have to take hours. Just 10 to 20 minutes each day is sufficient to start seeing results. The more you make this a daily habit, the stronger the neural connections will become. Here's how you can begin. Find a quiet space. Begin by finding a quiet place where you can sit or lie down without distractions. Relax your body and take several deep breaths to center yourself. Close your eyes and focus. Close your eyes and allow your mind to wander toward your ideal future. See yourself already living the life you desire. This is not about hoping that something will happen. This is about truly experiencing it in your mind as though it is happening right now.